The coaching industry is one of the fastest growing industries in the United States, now estimated to be at $13 billion yearly. Somewhere in the past decade, it's become mainstream from life coach to dating coach to divorce coach. If you're going through a divorce, you're in your most difficult, most tumultuous time of your life. You got custody hearings, finances, intimacy, and self-esteem issues and loss of identity. Your life as you know it will never be the same. Be it counseling or a coach, you're gonna need someone to guide you through your countless questions. But what's the difference between a counselor and a coach? Let's discuss, and let's start revving that engine. Countless stories go like this. You've been married 14 years, 3 kids, you pride yourself on your work, you feel like you're coasting through life, and one day your beautiful wife says that her feelings, that they have changed. With either tears or anger, she says, I want a divorce. The marriage counselor we've been seeing, not working, and well, my mind's just made up. She's no longer in love with you. She uses the maybe you should move out card, but you have nowhere to go. And plus, this is your house. 3/4 of men say that in hindsight, yeah, they should have seen it coming, but to make that permanent of a decision is tremendous as you think, sure, it happens. But crap like this, it doesn't happen to me. It happens to others. You do the right thing. A therapist that you looked up on your insurance covers, it has an opening in 3 weeks. You schedule it right away. Meanwhile, lots of crap is happening at your place. There's a breakdown in civility. While you wait to see your counselor in the session, it begins like this. What's going on? My wife wants a divorce and I can't get her off my mind. The therapist asks questions about your ex, what led up to it, attempts to diagnose the problem by asking how you feel, and further questions. You tell them 45 minutes are up and maybe they assign some homework, most commonly being cognitive behavioral therapy, CBD. Anything from reading something to writing down how you feel along with triggers. It all depends on the counselor and the patient's needs, but usually it's limited to looking at the past in your relationship, your development, your childhood, etc. Meanwhile, your life continues and things are moving at a rapid pace. You can't sleep, your angst is through the roof. Your ex sets up a custody schedule. Somewhere during the fight, you realize that it was infidelity all along, or she says that she started seeing someone conveniently during the week of your breakup, so technically she didn't cheat. Now you got a future ex when for some reason she can't stand you, one that treats you with a level of insignificance that the cliche sinks in, that you really don't know who your spouse is until you divorce them. You decide it's best as you leave, as things just got too crazy around the house. But you're stuck paying the bills that you used to pay, so now you're broke. Meanwhile, you got served, adding to your nightmare, and you hire your own attorney, usually without knowing what to look for in one. How did things get so bad? Just a month ago, you thought that you were in a happy place. You had a wife that you loved and still love, and you knew your place and purpose in life, and it was all a mirage. The example I gave isn't an isolated incident, and by no means is it a worst-case scenario of men that I've worked with. Imagine this. Imagine if you would have just made one call or known that there are people that specialize in divorce coaching. Lots of guys, they go through this alone. Many, they don't know what's normal and what's not. Common questions like, what will my life be like, inevitably come up. And frankly, these questions are real, but because you didn't know, you gave her way too much power and significance through the divorce. You have so many questions that counseling can't or won't answer. Questions with a sense of urgency, like what to look for in an attorney. Should you move out? Setting up boundaries with your ex. What to expect during the first 3 months. What to expect after 1 year. Will you ever love again? When divorcing, we ask the wrong questions, ones that will only end up mind-fucking us, like, why is she doing this? When did she meet him? Is she with him now? Then there are questions that you need to be asking, like, how do you want to be like in 1 year? Why does this hurt so much? Why do we feel so emasculated? How long will I feel like this? What's going to be my new identity in life? Do you see the difference? First questions are about her. The second one, they're about you. Divorce coaches work with you on getting your shit together. The sooner you hire a coach, the better, because we're not therapists. We don't focus on your past to diagnose and treat. We don't have time for that. For us, it's about your reality today and your future. We assess the situation and plan strategically. We do this while moving you forward where you need to be, because your ex, she's had years to contemplate this. You're just now privy to something that she's known for a while, and she's putting you in the loop. Friends, family, colleagues, and sometimes even her gynecologist knew, but you were out of the loop until now. So you're at a huge disadvantage because while she's in the present or in her future planning her life, You're just now getting hit with the reality that you're getting a divorce, and rather than play catch up, you stay stuck in the past asking the wrong questions. So our goal is to get you to come out of this crap that she created as clean as possible. Because truth being told, you're in a precarious situation, and it's normal to experience a deep level of anger, but you can't live the rest of your life like that. A good divorce coach will work with you, assess the situation, and brainstorm your options. We focus on what you can change today. For instance, a common theme amongst men is how their ex continue to manipulate them, but that's because you're not setting up barriers with your ex. You're still letting her come in and out of your life. Once you start setting up barriers, it's going to be so liberating to you. How about dating? 62% of men say that they begin some kind of dating within 3 months of their separation. A quarter of the guys wait for over a year to date, misguided by the old school of thought that they should wait to start dating again. Probably true back when you were single, but times have changed, and online dating has revolutionized the dating world. You have to get back out there. You can't deny that much of the pain that you're going through, it's also because she's moved on and you haven't, and that you're feeling alone and lonely. So why wait? Why do that to yourself? Today, dating someone doesn't have to be for a long-term relationship. It's just dating, an opportunity to meet new people. A good divorce coach works with you on setting up your profile along with what to expect. We work with you in reorganizing your life, because if you think being a new dad was difficult, that's a cakewalk compared to what's heading your way. A good divorce coach works with you in finding your identity. After you're split, something you're going to struggle with is finding meaning, finding a purpose in life. Many guys are surprised at how little thought that they gave to their identity as a husband. That is, until it's gone. A good divorce coach will work with you to develop your own person. I look at the early part of my breakup with a certain level of nostalgia. That's when I grew. That's when I found myself. That's when I realized that despite the great money that I was making, my life, it just lacked purpose. When tragedy happens, we ask why. We need to make sense of what to look for, the meaning behind it. And with meaning comes identity. No one purposely goes through pain to find their identity, but we find our identity through this pain. That's because you have to ask yourself, now what? If someone came to us and said, listen, you're gonna go through one of the hardest, most painful moments in your life. I can't tell you what it is, but it's gonna suck. But when the dust settles, you're gonna find your higher purpose and your identity. You'll have grown stronger and prouder than you have ever been, and you won't take shit from anyone. Would you take it? I'd say most likely. But when the shit hits the fan, we don't know that this may be for a higher purpose. We just think on our past and try to make anything to take away our pain. Finding meaning is about changing ourselves and often changing our life. Finding our identity, it's about changing the world. Had I not been betrayed by my ex in the fucked up manner that she did, having her lover call and threaten me the same day that I found out, 2 years of an affair, I would have never taken the personal inventory in my life to grow, and I certainly wouldn't be speaking to you on YouTube and become a divorce coach. It was the trauma that I felt and how I handled it that persuaded me to make my own identity. At the time this happened, I never expected it to change my life as drastically as it has, but after losing my voice, I had to get it back with a vengeance. Throughout your divorce, 94% of you will be asking about your purpose, your identity. What you don't know is that as you ask yourself, what now? The options you have are much more than you can ever begin to imagine. That's what a good divorce coach does. We work with you on finding your identity, your deeper meaning. But this doesn't come right away. It takes introspection and self-awareness. A good divorce coach will make you better than ever. Not before you met her, not while you were with her, but ever. She had her chance and she blew it. Now it's your time. It's your turn. When you go through a breakup, you're gonna want her back. But then you're gonna realize that she's not giving you a second chance. But the best way to get back at her is through defining your own success. Your motive may be to have her regret leaving you, but as you recover and become your own badass, that won't matter because you've just realized that your ex wouldn't have made it. She wouldn't have made the cut of the many girls that you're dating today. You just wouldn't have married her. You begin to realize that she was special to you because of the mirage that you saw. You made her special beyond her capabilities. You made her special to the point of near deity. But now you realize that she's just an ordinary girl. A girl with mistakes. Then you see that in a few years, or maybe even now, she's just washed up. But you want out because rather than feel the jealousy you once did, you feel either apathy or pity for them and nothing else. As your divorce coach, that's my mission, to speed up the process, to have you thrive in your post-divorce world and feel so fucking good about yourself that you're gonna love yourself again and leave her just your afterthought, just a comma on a run-on sentence that should have ended a long time ago. Right now, I'm sure that you're full of regret, self-doubt, and anxiety. My job is to help you become your inner badass, plain and simple. And I tell you this, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think that I was the best. You want me in your corner because I drive results. So here's what I'd recommend. In the description section of this video, you'll find a link to our free confidential Facebook group. Join us. You have nothing to lose but inertia. But make sure that you fill out the questions because this is the fastest growing men's support group. Confidentiality is important to us and not everyone gets in. Or just go to my site, also in the description section and the comment section, to make your free one-on-one because I'll tell you this, in a short 45-minute consultation, you're gonna walk out with much more clarity than you walked in with. Something I want you to walk away with is that your ex, she had her time. While it would be next to impossible to show you data on the percentage of women that regret leaving their husbands, I'll say this. As the reality of them being single sinks in and they begin the dating pool again, they're hit with the hard truth that it's a lot harder to find a good man than they thought. If you don't believe me, just ask the next person you go out with how it's going for them. Look at their eyes when they respond because many are tired. Many are tired of these so-called games other men play. The market is just turned in your favor. So do yourself a favor. Give yourself the gift to make that call. But I tell you this, when you do, make sure that you've seen at least a few of my videos. Take advantage that it's free, but don't take it for granted because, well, even after our first call, you're gonna walk out with a higher level of clarity and direction. So start your new life today by making an appointment and joining our Facebook group. Thank you very much.